Well, good evening. This is Dave Jones with Storm Center Communications and GeoCollaborate. This is a short, quick update on Hurricane Helene. U.S. Air Force and NOAA Hurricane Hunter aircraft have been flying through the storm, and U.S. Air Force aircraft has just reported back that winds are now 140 miles per hour within this major hurricane. So this makes it a solid Category 4 hurricane. It still has a couple of hours to go before landfall, and it looks like it's still intensifying. So we'll be watching that very closely. You can see on the infrared satellite image, this is the GOES image every 1 minute, this high resolution data. And you can see these storms wrapping around the central core of the hurricane. This is where those 140-mile-an-hour winds are located, most likely in this part of the eye wall itself. And as the hurricane moves inland, it will do that within the next couple of hours, probably between 10 p.m. and midnight Eastern time tonight. Now, I also want to show you GeoCollaborate because we talked about the update before this one, or the past one that I did, looking at ocean observations and how critical they are to determining what kind of waves are going to be heading onshore. And as this storm really gets close to shore, it's going to build up waves and is building up waves and storm surge right now. Let me take this full screen so we can talk about this just for a minute. I'm going to identify some places here. Here is Tampa, Florida, right in here. So Tampa Bay is here. Now the winds are now coming right into Tampa Bay. They're pushing into Tampa Bay, and we're seeing the tides rise there. Some of these buoys are reporting significant wave heights, 18 feet just off the coast of Tampa Bay at a 13-second dominant wave period. So they are battering waves that are approaching and going towards Tampa Bay. As we get a little bit closer, some of these buoys are not reporting anything currently, but I want to point something out of high interest here, and that is these buoys right here. The NOAA Hurricane aircraft on a research mission today dropped these spectral wave drifters into the ocean ahead of the hurricane. The hurricane is now passed by these buoys, but we can see what the wave heights are. Take a look at this. Just offshore, wave heights are 20 feet, significant wave height of 20 feet with a dominant wave period of 13 seconds. A little bit further to the south, where the winds are even stronger, on the backside and the southeastern edge, 22 feet, a significant wave height with a 12-second period. If we go further to the northwest, closer to Apalachicola, 20-foot waves are being recorded by these buoys that were dropped out of the P3 as it was making its mission, its research and operational mission through the hurricane. A little bit further to the west, the waves are a little bit smaller, 13 feet with a 7-second repeat. So that is very rough and very high seas making their way now towards the Big Bend area of Florida. This hurricane is pushing that water onshore, and here is the coastline right in here. So we have a couple of more hours to go through for Hurricane Helene, perhaps to strengthen a little bit more. It has 140 mile per hour winds. Again, a solid Category 4 hurricane. States of emergency have been uplifted. They've been posted for Florida, Georgia, Kentucky, South Carolina, North Carolina, and Virginia. If I go a little bit further to the north here, we're looking at a landfall point in here as the storm makes its turn up to the north through central Georgia. Here is Tallahassee, the city of trees, and it looks like it's going to be in some of the northwest eye wall of this hurricane as it moves in. You can look a little bit closer to the satellite image. And I'll zoom in a little bit closer here. You can see, look at that thunderstorm activity. It's just incredible coming around this northern part of the eye wall. And it looks like the storm is starting to make a tiny bit of a turn to make its landfall up in this area here, with places like Cedar Key right here, right in the eastern eye wall, which could see the 15 to 20 foot storm surge. And the National Hurricane Center just recently reported this statement here, that a University of Florida Coastal Monitoring Program tower located on Cedar Key recently reported a sustained wind of 55 miles per hour and a wind gust to 73. That's almost hurricane force. And a NOAA Coastal Ocean Service tide gauge located at Clearwater Beach recently reported a water level of 5.07 feet above mean higher high water. That is an approximation of inundation in that area. We've seen pictures on social media of inundation happening in Clearwater and also down in St. Petersburg, where they have had massive power outages. So that's it for this update. I just wanted to bring to your attention the storm is close to landfall. This is the high-resolution GOES satellite image, and it is pushing water and waves of 22 feet towards the coastline. Just to reiterate, when you talk about storm surge, a storm surge of 15 to 20 feet is not the wave action. You add the wave action on top of that storm surge. So in some cases, we could see 40 feet of ocean water coming inland. That's 20 feet of storm surge and 20-foot waves on top of that. That is historic. It looks like this is going to be a devastating evening for the Big Bend area of Florida in through Tallahassee, and it's going to go downhill from there throughout central Georgia. Now, if I pull up, widen out here and GeoCollaborate, you see all the buoy observations, and this is the path that the storm is going to take up through central Georgia, and it's like a buzzsaw going through trees. So please, everybody, be patient with the utility workers. Some folks here will be out of power for at least a week, and some perhaps 2 weeks with the seriousness of this storm. Well, that's it for this update. I'm Dave Jones with Storm Center Communications and GeoCollaborate. Thank you for watching this update. We'll be posting another one tomorrow morning, close to the 11 o'clock update time from the National Hurricane Center. Perhaps a little bit before then, we'll be talking about power outages, restoration activities, and what kind of damage assessment, if any, has begun. We're certainly monitoring, too, the tidal surges that are happening all the way from Naples in the southwest Florida, northward to St. Petersburg and Tampa Bay, Clearwater, on up into Homosassa Springs, which is about to take it right on the chin. At the end of this video, I'm going to display a full screen graphic that shows the power restoration process. This was provided by the Edison Electric Institute, just so everyone could have a good idea as to the priorities that are put in place after a major storm goes through. Everyone wants everybody's power back as soon as possible, and more than 50,000 utility workers have been staged now to come into the disaster area to restore power as quickly as possible. And this is what the power restoration process looks like. The first thing that they look at are power plants. The power plants are the primary sources of power production. They're assessed for damage and restored. Then they move to transmission lines. High voltage transmission lines serving thousands of customers over wide areas are repaired. Then the substations. Substations are brought online in order for power to reach local distribution lines. Then essential services. Power is restored to essential services and facilities critical to public health and safety, such as hospitals, nursing homes, fire and police departments, and water systems. Then large service areas. Crews are dispatched to repair lines that will return service to the largest number of customers in the least amount of time. Service lines to neighborhoods, industries, and businesses are restored systematically. And finally, individual homes. Once major repairs are completed, service lines to individual homes and smaller groups of customers are restored. Some customers may not be able to receive power to their homes because of damage. Flooding can damage electrical systems, and inspections by a licensed electrician may be required before a home can receive power. Customers should never touch damaged equipment. Thanks so much for watching this update, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.